Let's watch a couple clips of Fox News doing propaganda on The Five and Jessica Tarlov, the lone liberal, having to do her best to speak the truth of it all on Biden, on crime, and I just want to jump in after to add a little extra context, starting with Biden.
Hey you! Yes, you! Did you know we have memberships for as low as $3 a month? You can help the channel grow, reach new heights, and help protect democracy, and you get a long list of exclusive perks from members-only polls to getting my videos early. The link is always in the description of every video. If you want, go ahead and check that out, and thank you guys.
NATO is bigger, stronger, and more unified today because of Joe Biden's leadership, and that's true. Finland and Sweden are part of NATO because Joe Biden was president and because he stands with the Ukrainians in a way that Donald Trump doesn't seem to have any interest. He says, cede a little bit of territory. What's the big deal there? He's put together partnerships like the Quad partnership with Japan and with India and Australia, things that are getting us closer to our allies all over the world. Unprecedented climate action, putting us back in the Paris Climate Accords, trying to meet goals with the rest of the world to protect our planet. That's the type of leadership that he's talking about. So I'm not up here to say that everything Donald Trump did was wrong. I think the Abraham Accords was an incredible piece of peacekeeping brokering and put Israel in a better position there and to be able to do trade with people with their neighboring countries.
There's many wonderful points made by Jessica to address here, but let's actually start where I think she's wrong, because I don't often disagree with her, but on Israel is one topic where I find myself doing it more than I don't. The Abraham Accords, while having some good parts in it, admittedly, largely were a fail. They didn't accomplish much, and in doing so, they left the Palestinians out of negotiations and normalization talks, which went on to only heighten the tensions that the Palestinians felt on their end and between Israel and Palestine, of which was the goal was supposed to be normalizing the relations in the Middle East. So Trump kind of missed the forest for the trees there, and the negative effects for it far outweigh any positives that we saw. Now, where she is absolutely right here is how much we can credit Biden for strengthening our position abroad, bringing back respect abroad around the world for America and American leadership, from the Quad partnership to push back against China and their rising influence, to NATO to stem Russian aggression, and the weaponry that we send Ukraine has both helped expose the Russian army as not nearly as strong as once thought. They can't even beat a Ukrainian army with our weaponry, let alone could they stand up to us and our full force. But also through buying these weapons from ourselves, we've created even more jobs in gun manufacturing, ammo manufacturing, along with raising our GDP from it.
The murder capital of the country, New Orleans, is not included. Mm-hmm. Chicago, not included.
New York City,
LA, not
Los
included.
Angeles.
Besides all the major metropolitan areas with all the homicides, everything else is fine.
I had to add this one in here quickly because he's talking about the crime reports here, and he's just telling a brazen lie. Like, none of what he said is true here. The Uniform Crime Report covers 94% of the population, and you can literally just download the participation report, and it'll probably be hard to see, but I'll have it here on the screen. You can see that most agencies in California report, I think it's 91% there, and the same in New York. I'm pretty sure it's like 90% there as well. Most of the population, most of the agencies. And again, in totality, the report covers 94% of the population. Any city with a population over 1 million is in there for sure. And then other smaller counties that choose to report as well. But I'm sure that 6% that's not reported on is where all the crime is hiding at.
You can't deny the things that Joe Biden was talking about. And on the Afghanistan front, that was the moment when his popularity went down, and it did not recover, frankly, till he dropped off the top of the ticket. But Donald Trump put in place a negotiation that ended up freeing 5,000 Taliban fighters.
Yeah.
Why is no one talking about that? 5,000 terrorists, you go, no problem.
All right. You want to answer that, Dana?
No, I want to talk about a bigger issue.
Of course, they don't want to talk about it because it shows how Trump played a larger part in creating the messiness of the withdrawal than Biden did. I will forever die on the hill that pulling out was the right move, but Trump made it super messy, releasing 5,000 terrorists before it happened, leaving the Afghan government out of negotiations, handing over Afghani land to the Taliban, a terrorist organization, negotiating with terrorists. Isn't that antithetical to American values? He reduced our troop numbers while the attacks were ramping up, leaving just 2,500 vulnerable with all of our heavy machinery and weaponry, and then just kicking the can down the road rather than trying to fix or solve any of these problems because he lost the election. It was always going to be messy in some way or the other, but the way that Trump did it made it more messy. And the less troops died in pulling out of Afghanistan than died yearly under Trump, yearly when in Afghanistan, period. So it was still clearly the right move because now going forward, no more troops are going to die in Afghanistan. I just wish that a majority of the fault would rightly be placed on the Doha Agreement, not on Biden. And who negotiated and signed the Doha Agreement? It was Trump, not Biden.